Hello, my name is Dr. Vary Towler, and this short film is the fourth one in a series made at the University of Dundee about developing your research ideas with a perspective on enterprise. This film summarises some of the key points around presenting your ideas to other people and will cover two aspects of presenting your ideas. Firstly, presenting your ideas in writing in the form of a business plan. And secondly, if you're called upon to present your ideas in the form of a presentation to others in support of your business plan, which is also known as pitching your idea. My first key point to think about when you're presenting anything to do with your own idea development and looking for other people either to be involved in that project or to contribute funding to that project or be an investor in that project is that you need to think first and foremost about the audience that you're presenting your material to. And in particular, whether that audience is expert in your area or whether it will involve people who come from a wider background than you, which will mean that you will have a decision to make around the amount of jargon and the amount of background and context that you need to provide. There are many business competitions that you could enter to gain funding to further your idea, and if we think of entering a competition, then one of the things that we should focus on is thinking about how you present your ideas and your idea development in pursuit of a competitive prize or in pursuit of funding from a funding body, which is usually a competitive process. Then who is your audience? Who will it be that you're sending your business plan to, and who will it be that you're presenting it to? So it's good if you can find out ahead of time who is going to be on a judging panel, for example, so you can gauge their level of expertise. So what is a business plan and what should be included in it? We're talking about capturing one or two sides of A4 to start off with. So clearly articulating what your idea is. What is it that you're requiring for your idea development, both in terms of help, funds, and maybe investment? What are the things that you need from the people that you need to be telling them about your idea to be able to capture their imagination and also get them interested in thinking that your idea and your idea alone is the one that should be funded? So what is your idea? Has it got a title? And what is that title in its shortest form? Can you capture that in a way which engages the people your application and your business plan will be going to? The second thing is, can you explain it at a level of detail which provides more information and widens the scope of your title and your idea, but still keeps your key messages and the key things that you want people to be interested in a succinct and direct manner? So how can you create more of an idea, maybe in the range of 200 words or so, which tells people what your idea is and why it's a good one, and it doesn't go into lots of detail from a jargon point of view, but communicates quite succinctly what it is that you want to convey to the people about your idea and its development. The third thing that you might want to include as part of a business plan is what are the next stages for your development. So you've had your idea, but what will you be doing next? What might you use the money for should you be successful in gaining investment or commitment to your particular project? And when will this happen? So if we think about the business plan, it's your ideas, it's where you're going to develop those ideas, where they're going to go next, and how the money might be used in order to do that. Having a broad summary of what it is the money will be used for and how it will be spent and the term over which it will be spent for your idea development is a very useful and necessary section to have as part of your business plan. The Business Model Canvas is a great tool in order to be able to help you get an overview of your business model and value proposition, and I have used this tool many times to iterate my own business model. It can also be used as a slide in a presentation to illustrate the overview of your business. Pause the video here and have a go at filling out a business model canvas. A template business model canvas can be downloaded at the link on the screen. Some other key elements that will need to be in your business plan as far as communicating with the audience, who may well be involved in funding your business or supporting it, may well be about in-kind support. It's also about having some of you down there on the business plan. So why you? Because actually when we start to have ideas, it's us and our ideas that are inextricably linked. Therefore, we are one and the same to start with. It's only when we widen this and involve other people that perhaps it turns into a wider idea and a wider plan to move forward towards either commercialisation or developing your research idea further. So coming back to who you are, there might be more than one of you involved. So there might be you and a small team. So who is in the team? One of the things that needs to clearly come through in your business plan is why you and this idea and the team that you've assembled should be the people to take the idea forward, because you have the right skills and experience to be able to manage that and take it forward. So what is your unique selling point or USP? Or what are your unique skill sets that you have within the team members? As part of your business plan, you may be asking for part funding for an idea. And if so, you need to be very clear in your business plan about where the rest of the funding is going to come from. If an investor or a funder thinks that their own investment is part of the funding, one of the questions they will certainly have is, where is the rest of the funding going to come from? And similarly, your ability to be able to understand your costs and to be able to articulate how much the project will cost to deliver needs to be woven into that part of your business plan so that you can give confidence to the audience about how their money will be used and how it will be used widely as part of your idea development and as part of the project. So the business plan is something in writing. As a starting point, no more than 2 sides. So start by writing 2 sides of an A4 business plan, capturing the main themes of those topics that I've talked about, and then start to think about adding detail from there and fleshing out any important points to create a longer written document. I would suggest that there are 2 ways in which you want to think about communicating your idea in writing, which flow from that business plan suggestion. One of which is to do that in a short form and to have this in quite a snappy way in which you can communicate it in writing quite directly and very succinctly. And then secondly, a longer, more detailed and more defendable document, which provides much more of your wider thinking as to where your money is going, where the money is going to be spent in the activities that you're going to do, and the term over which your idea is going to be developed and delivered, and where the money will be spent. So that's it in written form. Pause the video here and have a go at jotting down some notes in the accompanying workbook to get you started under the headings: what is the idea? Who does it involve? Why you? What money do you need? How will the money be spent and when? And what is the market opportunity? The thing we need to think about next is that you will almost certainly have situations where you will need to talk about your proposal in person. So thinking about how you communicate the things that you've written about and the document that you've put together as a presentation and how your presentation is congruent with what you've written. These are the next things that you need to think about. Start to think right back to the beginning when we talked about the audience for your presentation and the audience for your business plan, starting with who it is you're going to be in front of. Are they going to be experts in your area? Are they going to be funders? Are they going to be people who can help perhaps through a wider network or help with in-kind support? So who is it that's in front of you? How many of them are in front of you? And how long are they going to require you to speak for? Sometimes in competition scenarios, you're given a specific time limit, such as 3 minutes to pitch your idea. So this has to be really carefully planned out in terms of content and practice for timing. Will you have any time at the end for questions? It might not necessarily be a presentation followed by questions, so it's good to know this. One of the things is not only to check about who the audience is, but what is required of you in terms of communicating your ideas and your plans verbally and through slides to the audience. The part that I mentioned around slides is probably starting to give a real summary of your business plan and to support you in your presentation. A couple of tips about slides is to keep them clear, keep them focused on the message that you're talking about, and keep them congruent with any plan that you've given to other people as part of the audience, so that the things that you're talking about in the slides behind you are absolutely consistent with the plan that people are looking at in front of them, and they can start to tie the two together. At the same time, they're trying to listen to you, communicating your plans and ideas. To recap on this particular webinar, when you're communicating your plans and ideas at a stage where you're looking for other people to be involved in either funding them or helping you develop them, the first thing to think about is your audience. Who is it that you're going to communicate to, and what things are you going to communicate to them as far as your written documentation is required? Then think about how are you going to do that, both succinctly and then in more detail if required. Funding bodies often have templates you can fill in, so find this out at the beginning of your quest. Then thinking about oral presentations, consider your audience again and how long you've got to present to people. How are you going to do that? Do it clearly and succinctly and in total congruence with the documentation that you've put together for your audience, and make sure you've rehearsed for any timing limitations you may have. Practice, practice, practice is key here. So does the written plan match what you're saying in your oral presentation? That concludes the series of webinars on developing your ideas with a focus on enterprise. Please refer to the accompanying workbook for space to work on your idea and links and references used in this series. Thank you.